Mohamed, how's it going, man?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm so grateful that you're here on Can't Shovel
It's my
Hurricanes.
pleasure. My pleasure.
It's been a while to try to get you. We're both kind of busy and flying around, but you're here now. And first of all, Eid Mubarak,
Thank
right?
you.
I got it right.
You got it very right.
Right.
Yes.
This is the end of Ramadan now.
It's the end of Ramadan and Eid comes to celebrate breaking the fast.
Is there a tradition, something about a lamb or
Not that one. We have two big feasts. So this is the kind of, we call it the smaller one, where we just eat cookies and celebrate gathering and having a
But you can eat at any time of the day now.
Yeah, now we can eat anytime.
And
But
during Ramadan, you don't eat during the day.
we start fasting by the sun dawn, and then we start breaking the fast by the sunset.
How do you do it, man? How do you work?
I got used to it. I actually go work out. I do my full-time work. I do everything during my fast. It's put me in a very good mood that I never thought I would be in by being fasted.
There's a lot to be said about that. Also, I think intermittent fasting is now like a fad that a lot of people, I don't know if it's a fad, but I mean, it says basically that your body doesn't need the amount of calories that we're used to consuming. It's when you're getting it. And if you've gotten into a routine where you're kind of fasted and working out, you can actually burn more of that fat and get stronger, while you, assuming that you gotta like eat.
That's true. It's actually getting very common now, the intermittent fast. And a lot of people really, showing good results out of it. And I used to work out right before breaking my fast. So the hour before I break my fast was the most effective hour.
What time?
I lost almost 12 pounds over Ramadan.
And it's probably like fat that you lost.
Fat, yes. I got more leaner during Ramadan. So I was very grateful.
Wow. Okay. And you were also telling me that there's a lot to be said, like from the being grateful perspective. It's a reflection of being a human. Talk to me about it.
Okay. So first, it's command of the Holy Book, where we just do it without asking many questions. However, there's a lot of reasons behind it that if the human being get to really look into why we're doing this, you get to find that you are sharing, the hardship that maybe people go through when they don't have enough, on their table, from food to kind of abundance of whatever that you get. Also being very like in a very good controlled mood of your anger. You control your anger. You don't get angry. You become very generous by giving away, like donations and contributions. It's a whole different mood. It's kind of a replenishment mood or like period as a checkpoint throughout the whole year. It comes once a year where you get into 30 days of, I would say, intensive replenishment to your mental health, spiritual health, and your body, where you come out of it in a totally different mindset and everything else.
So you find it recharges you?
It's amazing. It's kind of really a healing point for myself, where I kind of have a pause of reflection to see where I had, done over the year. How can I get back myself into being a good father, a good, son, a good business owner, a good leader, a good everything. So it's really something that I wait for every year.
So look, I think we all need recharges and be mindful, and we've all been through a lot. You're a transplant to Florida, just like me.
Correct.
And you run Accountants on Air.
Correct.
You're the founder and CEO.
Yes.
But that's not the only thing that you're doing. So I bet you need, that annual recharge. And I mean, obviously it replenishes your spiritual soul, but individually there's always to be said, you can't pour out of an empty cup. So if you're constantly go, and you're doing all these things, but you yourself are running on empty, eventually that stuff's going to catch up to you.
That's absolutely right.
So talk to me about Accountants on Air and how you run your business, quote unquote, remotely right now?
Correct. So we have about 16 offices nationwide. We have other locations internationally, in 3 different countries, including Canada.
Really?
So yes. So basically I have teams of CPAs, enrolled agents, certified bookkeeper, as well as payroll specialists and financial advisor that we work together for the sake of helping business owners and regular taxpayer. So the way it works is we're trying to be very personalized to anyone from a business perspective, or even a regular taxpayer, or even someone who wants to start a business from scratch, to be as a one-stop shop. You come to us with your business idea. We put it together into a business plan, financial forecasting, register your business, and then we assign you a team based on the industry you are in. So you get to work with someone or a team of financial, candidates who speaks your language, who matches your personality. We do some personality tests as well. as well as the
is it like a Myers-Briggs type indicator?
Yeah, we use metrics and Myers also. So but currently we're using metrics. So that kind of make you feel like you're working with just like a family, because we consider ourselves our partners to the business owner or to even the individual.
So you just don't dig into the finance. You provide consulting services to companies and small businesses?
Myself, I don't practice any longer. Just more like I focus more on the structuring, the business structure.
You run the business.
But the other team members that work, with me, basically they do the whole work from like filing taxes, bookkeeping, payroll service, audit, forensing, accounting, and so forth. And again, we're not only like offering accounting; it's more about one-stop shop for business development from A to Z. So,
and how would people find you guys?
We are all over, the internet. However, like basically you can go through our website, accountantsonair.com.
Right.
And you'll be able to just submit an inquiry and someone from the specialist will get back to you with all, the answers to your question.
Who's your target market? Who are you supporting the most?
Good. So that's a very good question that I've been asked a lot, even though my answer to it that I don't have like a specific niche as like one man shop CPA firm where only focusing on real estate or focusing on retail businesses, because I got team who are divided or split into groups. So there is a group for real estate, group for manufacturing, group for, retail, where those people are the best of their knowledge, focus on that area, where when you come, you get to be assigned to that group. However, we're trying to go more into the technology. So I'm looking for small to medium businesses where they're trying to strive and grow, but utilizing the technology, utilizing the on-go fact that there's an AI now. So we have built our own portal, our own application, where you basically ask a question, where's my next deadline? It answers you. Your next deadline is this. Can you find where's my refund? So you don't have to communicate with an actual, accountant anymore.
So you can get your information on the spot.
Yes. So the accountant time or the professional time, it get to be saved for what is his time worth. Not just, based on wasting his time picking up the call, what's the time now? When is my next deadline? Which is something that people can find easily online.
Right. So the Accountants on Air is not your primary, it's not your only business. You're involved in a couple of really cool things.
I would call it my older kid, because I consider my businesses are my really, babies and kids.
Of course.
But it's not the only one. Yeah, consider myself more entrepreneur. I own other businesses.
Right.
And one of them is also manufacturing water, probiotics, water for pets. That's
like an ingenious product. I've never heard or seen anybody even touch that. Can you elaborate on what that is?
Sure.
And it's FDA approved, correct?
It's FDA approved, correct. And basically back in 2019, I was sitting with one of my good friends who was my partner now, to kind of see how we can interfere or interrupt the pet industry.
Right. Massive industry.
Yes, it's a huge, especially here in the US. It's a big market, and now it's worldwide. But what I have seen here, at some point, like my uncle's dogs had an insurance, I didn't have an insurance. So that's how it got me so intimidated to the point that I had to really offer something to that market. So we came into thinking first of having a manufacturing for like a dog actual bottle of water to the dogs. But then we thought of it's going to be very hard to distribute and to kind of, get it going. So we had decided to do it like as a powder, as a probiotics. So now it's get to be sold into electrolytes in a section of water, like a packet, it's a section of like powder, where it includes minerals, vitamins, and probiotics. That it comes flavored. We have like a peanut butter, chicken liver, beef liver, bacon, where you just mix it with a regular bowl of water for your dog, and he drinks it, and it helps them with their skin, their teeth, their fur, their gum,
so
it's joints.
It's basically like a mineral water or a multivitamin for the dogs that they ingest via the water. So you take this powder, stick it in the water, mix it up.
Correct.
Oh my God.
But for the daily use, it doesn't have to be like as a vitamin water that you give it every now and then. The dog can consume it as much as he needs or she needs during the regular day or week or month.
Is it just for dogs? It is applicable like
right now? The only one we have is for dogs, but we are working on a cat version and also horses. Since I'm a polo player, so that's something that
polo.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that since I was 6 years old. So like maybe about 20 years.
All right. For anyone who's never tried polo, now I've fortunately or unfortunately, I've done it once.
Right.
I was in Argentina, and we had taken a tourist tour to try to play polo. And first thing I noticed is the horses are different than what you typically look at as a horse. If you think of a horse in your mind, the polo horses are shorter, they're a bit wider, at least the ones that I was on, and they're meaner. All right. So we're playing this thing, and I swear I have a video of it. I mean, I'm going to date myself a bit, but that horse started bucking and tried to buck me off it. I'll never again get on a horse after that experience. I don't know how people play that sport. Like, how do you control the animal? And it's like, hey, listen, it is a luxurious sport.
It is, but I would disagree with you by saying the horse is mean, because a horse is really one of the best creation. I would consider it.
No, as an animal, I'm just talking about maybe the one I had.
Maybe their experience, but that horse, like, I feel like there's a relationship between me and the horse, especially when you are riding it, through a game or through, tournament, whatever the case is. It's a very strong relationship. This kind of creation is like, it feels like a human being, it acts, it reacts. It's amazing.
You have a real, love with animals. It's evident.
I do. I mean, all my life, my brother and I, we always been raising all type of animals, like as a pet, but we were really kind of, we got into it very intensively.
And you're originally from Egypt?
Egypt, originally.
Where in Egypt?
Alexandria.
Okay.
Alexandria, Egypt.
Do you go back often?
I was there recently, back in August of 2022.
Okay.
Just because we were opening a location of Accounts on Air. But but I usually don't go much. My parents come visit me just because of me being a little busy here.
Sure.
But I'm planning, to go back and forth now. Yes.
Well, look,
more often.
Is there any other businesses that you're involved in?
Yes, I do, like some more like real estate. I also just launched, it's not really a business, it's more like a networking thing, but it's a club where it's going to be an invite only club where we'll be picking certain people based on their qualification, their like profile to be part of that club, where they're going to be meeting some specific certain people who are maybe having high profile, well connected, adding certain values that people are looking for.
Like a networking sort of?
It's more, but it's not really just a networking. It's going to have a lot of other benefits, such as like exclusive dinners that you will be like talking about business, talking about other opportunities, raising funds, getting accesses to people that you never been able to get access to, getting some support from advisory board who can help you through different aspects of life, including just like motivation as well, and keeping up yourself in a good mind state.
And when is that going to be set up?
So we're working on it right now, and we're working with big people, like part of the people that I was meeting with, like the former CEO of Apple. I'm going actually.
I think you were a speaker in an event.
And I was a panelist recently in Schumacher house on Palm Beach Garden.
Right.
So I got to meet really some of the heavy profiles where Z would be part of that.
All right. How do I get an invite into this thing?
Absolutely. I mean, once it's lunch, I promise you, I'll
putting
send
you on the spot right here.
I mean, it's going to be something that no one would have like a rights on just bypassing the qualifications. It's going to be really something very selective, just to make sure to maintain
the quality control.
The quality control of the people who join, so you can really benefit of it. So once it's lunch, it should be lunch toward the end of the year, if not sooner. So we're working really hard on making this something different.
So between that, being a family man, having locations in multiple countries, obviously all these things that you're doing, you're a transplant into Florida, right?
Correct.
How recent did you move?
I moved about 2 years ago, June of 2020.
Yeah. How was that?
It's amazing.
How are you managing? How are you juggling all of this?
I tell you that. I have one regret, that I haven't moved to Florida sooner or earlier.
Boom. 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 Honestly, and that's the one thing I probably say on repeat. Toughest thing we ever did, best decision.
It is. I mean, I was lucky enough that I'm still like, I would consider myself young, entrepreneur or whatever the case is, like in terms of my age, to make it now versus like, some other people who have gotten it to it. But it's still, there's never too late but I'm still considering myself too late that I haven't made that decision earlier.
All right. But would you say is like the best part of it, of why you moved? And I really want to know why you moved in the first place.
Sure. So as I relate as, founder of Accountants on Air, it's taxes, right? So a lot of people will tell you taxes here, the tax low, the regulation is a little bit more, favorable to a lot of taxpayers and business owners. Sure. So that was one of the reasons, but not the only one. It's more about lifestyle. I have 2 kids where I want to raise them the best that I can offer them. Where I can find here, it's more about a lifestyle where they can grow in a better atmosphere. Better atmosphere to what? Where did you come from? In terms of, I was living in New York for about 8 years. I lived in New Jersey for about 2 years. So they were great states and everything, but you feel, even if you don't have a stress, you would be stressed. Like, even if everything's good in your life, which is, I doubt it, nobody have everything perfect, but at least if you are good, you're still going to be like, you see the people around you treating you in a very mean way, without you doing anything to them. And why do you think that is? I would say it's more, this is the culture house being fit there. Like, it just, everything is like back to back. People are just working all the time. Weather doesn't allow them to kind of enjoy much. It's only the summertime. So I feel like it's a lot of things, but it's like an energy being transferred from one person to another. I say these things, but I have yet to have anybody sit across from me and verbalize it in a way that resonates with me so much. And I feel sometimes like I'm selling Florida to people when I'm saying it. And the flip side of that, I know I'm being judged often by people because I made the move. So of course I'm not going to say that this isn't a great place. You're afraid to say the reality. And no, I'm absolutely not. There's pros and cons. There's things here I can live without, and I talk about them often. I'm grateful to Canada for what it's given me the opportunity, and it's given me the opportunity to be here. But I'm flying back and forth a lot. And when I touch down in Toronto, which I would say is like Manhattan light junior, the culture, the ideology, the framework is the same, and you work. So you can come and vacation at a place like this, whereby I don't have to go to an all-inclusive vacation. I can drive from here and have that experience just like I would in any of the most upscale destination spots on earth. And it's there. And I think because of that, there is this element of people are a little more relaxed. Yes. I thought that I would become softer and lack ambition, but nothing could be further from the truth. I think the move for me and my family, I mean, I look at myself, I look at my wife, I look at the people that I'm around. Yes. It's nothing like that. Their approach is different. Their mindset's different. Sure, people are late to meetings a lot more than they would have been in New York or Toronto. But as a whole, I feel like the quality of people that are moving down here with the mindset that they want to build communities for their children's children. And yeah, like you're calmer, but you're not less efficient, which is what I feared would happen. I'd feel like I'd be less like the semi-retired guy. It keeps you motivated. It keeps you always you always remember life is still good. When the sun shines, you feel like, no matter how hard life is, I can go out and breathe. I can go out and swim. I can go out and walk on the beach. There is something that relates with human nature to impact their energy, and the energy impact their lifestyle and their work, results. So I feel like it's very important. And believe it or not, since I still have offices in different states, when I get to travel to meet a client or something, I have the clients, I pay for their flight. I have them come meet me here. I'm not traveling to you, just to avoid, that kind of changing of the mindset. So if anybody wants another bonus to work with you, I mean, flight to Florida doesn't hurt. Yes. I mean, that's why I'm learning now how to fly myself. So that way I can. Seriously? Yes, I do fly. So I am in talks right now to have the CEO of the Boca Airport coming in, and that's purely for private jets and airplanes. And there's some like amazing cool stories that come out of there. But dude, I listen, I'm terrified of flying. Oh, I'm afraid of heights. I don't like to fly. I do it all the time. And I'm very careful now with kids because I don't want them to share my anxiety. I see. No, I'm different. I love adventure. I love like fast cars. I like, kind of these kind of crazy stuff.
Dude, fast cars.
Yes, I do. I like adventure. I like kind of, to challenge myself, my capabilities.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Everything. I jump off, like a skydiving. I jump off of my airplane. I just get up and I wanted to learn how to fly myself. I just do whatever that I think,
So how do you do that? Like, you want to fly? What do you do? Where do you start?
I just applied for like an aviation school to get a private pilot license, and you maintain like about 50 hours of flying, and then you get your license.
And then you can go out on your own?
I can go my own.
After 50 hours in the air?
Hours, yeah.
And you're comfortable doing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you done it?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It's a different feeling. Like, especially when you are flying those kind of small flights that you feel like it's just a piece of metal in the middle of nowhere.
So what's it like flying those little planes? Is it a lot more turbulence than it would on the big ones?
It is. It's like you feel like, the elevation and, the acceleration of them is a little bit more, unstable than a bigger flight. But it's still, this is how you learn.
So you're going to buy a plane?
I mean, yes, most likely. I save on that flight ticket that I'm sending it to my client.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I can imagine doing that.
Yeah, it would be a write-off too. So, coming from a tax background.
Spoken like a true tax accountant. So now that you're in Florida, you say, I wish I would have done it earlier.
Yes.
Does your wife feel the same way?
She does. I mean, at the beginning, she was a little bit hesitant of changing, but I really kind of knew the lifestyle that would come along with that move is going to be much
Did you
better.
sample Florida before? Did you come down here for
Yes.
snowbird, test it out before you decided, yeah, I want to.
The truth is right, because I had my office here in Fort Lauderdale since 2017, before I have my Boca Raton one. So I used to come like at least twice a year, but I used to drive. I used to bring the family and we drive here as of kind of like, a little vacation. Right. And we used to stay here like for a month or for sometimes like a little more than a month. So we were experiencing being a resident of that estate. So we liked it a lot. And every time that I was going back, I feel like I don't want to go back. So when the time came of the pandemic and it kind of, we were locked in home, and Florida, it was less restricted in terms of the pandemic. So I just literally, what we did is I told the family, the kids and, my wife, we just moving to Florida. We didn't have a house here. We don't know anything yet. I'm calling a moving company, picking up the stuff, and we took our car and we drove down here.
What year was that?
It was 2020. It was all
right, so it was like middle of pandemic in New York. Yes. Everything locked down, passports, restrictions, vaccine. Show me your vaccine.
It was the toughest time. It was just crazy. But yes, we just made that.
But since your business was predominantly online, it is scalable. Did you find business grew during the pandemic?
My business particularly. So let me tell you that our business, or my business, basically since 2012 has been running on a virtual atmosphere, which is everything online.
Oh, so you were ahead of the times.
But the thing is, what happened with the pandemic is that it served us to kind of put the mentality of the clients to perceive the idea of virtual accountant or financial, professional faster. So that helped us grow during that period, because you got people that are willing to work with you versus than just working with a traditional accountant, or you going with the paperwork and so forth. And we were ahead of the game because we have our own technology. Like as I was telling you, you just go through our system, you get to everything virtually. Like everything can be done just over your phone, your smartphone.
Wow. Okay. So when you talk about a virtual accountant, how explain that to me, how that actually plays out in practice.
Good. So the traditional CPA firm or accounting, where basically you call that company or contact them, set up an appointment, you grab all your paperwork on a huge fat file and you grab them. Sure. Your accountant wait outside until your next, like a doctor appointment, until the next,
I remember doing that, especially during tax season.
And I kind of go through that paper, and he finds like a paper that beaten up because you got it under the laundry, room or whatever laundry, machine. So it just really was unpleasant experience for the taxpayer and also for the accountant to deal with that much paperwork. It frustration. It frustrates the person. It's a frustrated process. So I took all that, and also like you work with someone who's only good in one certain thing. He might have worked only in real estate, who had worked on services, but he's not really kind of wide open to other industries. So I took all that because I was very limited. I used to work in the Big Four. I used to work in other companies where when clients ask me a question, I couldn't answer, or I even try to answer, but I don't give them the answer that they're looking for. So I knew that I was very limited. So what happened is like I start, seeking other friends or people in the professional to help me serve those clients. So I found it's something that the clients are happy by getting the answer that they're looking for from someone who's really specifically aware of that industry. And that's where the idea came from, where now you basically go through our site or go, contact us. You get to go through a questionnaire to know what exactly you're looking for. What are your goals? Not just the short term, the long term goals. What do you want to achieve? What is your goals in a business? What do you want to save on? And then you get to work with a team who could be a bookkeeper, tax accountant, tax advisor, financial analyst, financial advisor, to work together on that application that we have. And that's your team. Anything you need from any of them, you just contact them. They will give you the answer that you need. Filing your taxes, you just submit your paperwork, fill up a simple questionnaire, and you get everything in front of you. Your financial data, it will be very given to you in a very intelligent way that you will see as a business owner or as a taxpayer. What you need to do is you need to make a decision, right? So in order to make a decision, you need data. So the best way of doing this is just to have a reliable data to make that decision. So I just make you focus on growing your business, focusing on really making the decision, and leave all that kind of legwork to someone who really enjoy doing that.
That's really interesting. So if I'm understanding it correctly, because you're not like in a brick and mortar location, you can do everything from any spot in the world as long as you have an internet connection.
On the beach, you can do your taxes.
Yeah. No, but the way I see it is like, a lot of the stuff that we pay for often, even if we're going to a restaurant, like yes, we're paying for $300 a square foot, in hot real estate spaces, and we're paying for the labor, and we're paying for you've basically cut out the middleman to provide more services to your end user. Yes. And provide them more value than otherwise they would doing it the traditional way. Am I understanding it that correctly?
That's absolutely right. And not only that, our target clients, not only just regular, business owners or taxpayer or regular individuals, also accountants, CPA firms are also our clients.
Really?
Yes, because when they come, like now, if you are an accountant who are running your own practice, you have the cost of buying softwares, having a location, getting a team to help you and so forth. Now I tell you, what, give all that to me. I'll buy you out, or you come part of my, team members, and you just work on your clients, and I assign you more clients of your nature, of the industry, and you get to cut all this cost and the stress, and you just do work. So, wow. and basically now, since the technology is really, saving a lot, and those people, in order to kind of plug in technology at that age of life, sometimes it's very, challenging to them, but this is my game. Like, technology, I've been doing it for quite some time now. So we know how we can make things happen easier and faster with just utilizing technology. Especially now there's an AI coming in. That's a huge.
So talk to me about AI, because it's like, it's everywhere now. Like, I'm even where you look at social media content, is something yes, small as that. Like it came from something like as small as like Chat GPT, yes, where everybody's talking about it. But like, I could tell you, because I'm plugged into looking for more efficient ways and constantly doing things, especially as we're making content, and like, there are AI tools that chop away at editing videos. There are AI tools that will create a podcast. There's an AI tool out there that will take my voice. I can go to Chat GPT, put in a topic, ask it to make it funny, ask it to make it sincere, ask it to make it whatever, serious. Yes. And then I'll say, make it, 15 minutes long. And then you plug in your voice. And if I wanted to make it even more organic, you can run it through another simulator like Jasper. Yes. And boom. Yes. It's there. So right now we're in this like flirting phase with AI. I mean, it's coming. So, it's here. It's just, where is it going to go? It's a major efficiency tool. I personally believe that we're going to see another resurrection of like economies of scale and the efficiencies that they will bring, because a lot of the stuff that we're paying a lot of money for will now be outsourced to AI. So it will become significantly cheaper, and people will love it, then become dependent on it, and it will start to creep back up. But we're in this like the genesis of AI becoming into the everyday use, and it's terrifying.
Yes, it is. It is. And again, the fact is, AI has been there for quite a long time. It just is starting really being known or a little famous now, when people when it became more accessible to people. but it's been there for quite some time and used with, I would say, supervision of certain, markets. And what I see about AI, it's more like a social media, right? Which is it's useful if you use it. It's like a weapon. You can use it to protect yourself or to kill others, right? So that's how AI will be. It could be a very helpful tool to us as a business owners, to parents, to teach our kids, to do many things that would be useful. At the same time, it could ruin because it might stop your creativity from doing things that you were really having fun coming up with your own ideas versus copying other people's ideas. Okay?
Sure.
But what I would say, if it get to be blogged in with a decent supervision, and that people utilize it when it's really needed, not just utilizing it, for anything like, for example, the way that I'm using it is just to really maximize the efficiency of each professional, right? And instead of him wasting his time picking up a phone to answer, your deadline is April 15th or March 15th. No, there's a tool that can answer that. So now his time, he can tell you what will be the best business structure, what is S Corp, what is whatever that you need to do. That's something that no AIs will just tell you that personalized consultation or answer that you would need. But if we use AI for other like stuff like this, and we kind of, I would say, restricted it to that use, it would be a great tool because it's going to save a lot of time, and also it's going to bring up a new challenge, because right now you're going to see the competition is crazy. People that were taking time writing something using their experience and their like kind of grammar.
Yeah, their creativity. There's like right now you can do it. Chat GPT.
So now it's good that you will have that challenge where people would kind of try to really improve themselves to be better than computer, better than others, by just standing out on the surface. So that's going to make the challenge even harder than before.
Are you worried that it's going to run businesses like yours, multiple of mine, obsolete in the very near future?
What, AI?
Yeah.
I would hardly believe that, because again, AI will not replace human being. It will be a tool to assist human being, but will never replace human. Human being is the best creation, even though he was been given, a lot of authorities and power that he can destroy himself, not only destroy the world, but it's still, human being is the most powerful creation that he would, if he uses his brain correctly, he can conquer world, man.
I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
I think that the difference between AI and what it's going to turn into, or is already morphed into, will create a superior human. And what I mean by that is, I think the major differentiating point between us and AI is feelings and emotions.
Yes.
Right? I don't know if it's possible, but I mean, if you would have asked, people 60 years ago, could you put a person on the moon? They would have said you're psychotic. And if you would have asked, a lot of humans, whether you can connect with them and have all this power and cell phone, even 10 years ago, you would have thought that they was psychotic. And now machines thinking for us and doing all this stuff for us, it's not so crazy. So, that Terminator movie was way ahead of its time. Yes. But I think if you take out the emotion from a robot and just get them to focus on a task, you can create a super efficient person. So I think we are destined towards our own demise unless people start to self-regulate on that front. Yes. And I think the creativity aspect of it is a very dangerous loss, because once you have to stop thinking for yourself and somebody else, you've outsourced the thinking to somebody else. I'm hoping that we will fill that brain space with something more immense, more cool and funner.
Yes.
But most of the time, people don't have to do their own thinking. They get bored. They get up to doing some really foolish things.
Yeah, of course, because if you look at the crimes and all that bad things happens, it does only happen when people have plenty of time, when they are not occupied.
When you're bored.
When you're not occupied, when you're not fulfilling your purpose of living. And that's the danger of it. But again, that's why it has to be restricted. It has to be mandated with rules. And again, my opinion on it will never replace human being. Yes, it might imitate what we do. Like I was even in that conference or that gathering the other day. They were talking about the former CEO of Apple. Were talking about creating an AI where it kind of imitates your pattern during the day or throughout the day. So if you stop by a Starbucks and it knows that at 8 o'clock in the morning you buy coffee, it's going to remind you, hey, Mohammed, you forgot to get your coffee. Would you like me to order it? You could pick it up.
Dude, okay? I'm so scared.
A restaurant, you want me to reserve you a table in your favorite restaurant. You know, your mom, you haven't talked to her today. Would you like me to call your mom? So it will imitate, your pattern of your regular day today. So it's very scary because right now it's going to stop like the same thing when you take in steroids, it's like, hormones, it stops your hormones to be, generating.
Naturally occurring. And then you become dependent on this thing. And now it's become a mainline. So I don't know. I think what I'm scared of more is not necessarily nefarious AI. Obviously it's always scary in the hands of people who have bad intentions.
Yes.
I'm much more scared at the fact that we're leaving the policing and control in government hands. And I'm not an anti-establishment guy, but having come down from Canada very recently and watched how much control government can have over your own life in a supposed democracy, I'm terrified that, like human nature, they're not going to do it to the best of us.
Yes.
It will be done to the best of them. So we're on this really on the precipice of some really curious stuff that I cannot speak to at all, except, as a simpleton and a user that looks at it as an efficiency tool for the moment. But it scares me, man.
That's the truth. You never know what's he going to be using it for and to what's benefit.
As a parent, I'm most scared of not people. I'm scared of technology.
Yes.
And technology for my kids. But now with AI, I mean, wow, are they going to stop thinking for themselves? I'm really hoping that they will turn it into like something so cool and so amazing, and AI will come up with such economies of scale and efficiencies and cures for diseases that we could have never thought of just because of how much it can extrapolate. But I mean, The Matrix and Terminator are kind of still in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I mean, like technology, it speaks to the brain directly, right? It's like, I would call it myself the peace weapon, okay, or the silent weapon, where basically using a tool to destroy others, but without making any action. It's just like happening, without feeling it happen.
So you're not scared that it's going to take over business?
I'm not. No, I'm very confident, especially in my industry or the stuff that I get involved in. I'm very confident in where my end goal is. Like,
what is your end goal?
No, like for Accountants on Air, for example, the name, it comes as Accountants on Air. My goal is to fill in the air with professionals that anywhere that you are, willing to have an accountant or professional who, you need to hire, just simply put your zip code or, go online and you find someone, yeah, I'm here. It could be your neighbor. It could be, a family member. It could be whoever, but he has the values that you're looking for. Not only the values, it has the requirements that you're looking for, not only from a skill set, but also from a personality, from language barrier, from so many things, especially for the international people. A lot of our clients are internationally, such as from in Canada or any other countries, who might not be willing to travel to the States every single month to handle their investments here or their businesses here.
Right.
So that can be done just by simply, using technology. So that's how technology are useful.
I'm more curious as also about, are you looking for angel investors for your, what's the product called for, is it Pup Water?
Pup Water. Yeah. PUP water.
Yeah. Are you looking for angels investors, or should we be looking this as an IPO that's going to?
I mean, potentially, yes. We haven't really opened up any investor, stage yet, but when we will let you know. Maybe,
so when anyone listening out there that wants to get in on the ground up, yes. I want you to know that you heard it on Can't Shovel Hurricanes first.
Yeah, actually, I had people in the list that before even we get to launch our first products, they were just very excited.
Yeah, because it just makes sense to me. I'm a very simple investor, right? Is it something that I would use? Is it something that I would give to my dog, right?
And it's useful. It's like I had a client of mine when we were launching it. I sent samples to all the clients that they have pets, and one of those the clients, she had a dog that ate a grass from the backyard. So when he ate a grass, he started vomiting, and his stomach really was like acting weird. So she gave him that water, and she sent me that long email thanking me to tell me like how things had changed after he drank that water. The dog was really like back to normal. Was eating well. Like the diarrhea stops, vomiting stops. So I was really amazed that could be done by just simple,
I can tell you that the animals become part of your family.
It is.
And it's just exactly like that. And I was like one of these until I had my own dog. I thought people were a little crazy, to be honest, the way they treated their pets and stuff like that. But pets show us that you can show love and respect and loyalty without having to say a bloody word.
Yes.
It's just actions, right? And they love you unconditionally and they don't have a bad day. They're always excited to see you. We can learn a lot from animals. So you care about them when they're in your house. And if you can do something to extend their lives, because I think they just don't live long enough, which is why I'll never have a dog ever again. I'm fascinated and I'm impressed. And I'm grateful that with all the stuff that you have on the go, you were here, you took the time. I mean, people can't really see this, but this is the realities of moving into South Florida and not having a support network. Your son is here, and been an incredibly good boy who's sitting around and well-behaved. But this is what you do, right? Like business goes on, life goes on. You just find a way to manage these things. And these are the realities. So anybody who's going to move down here, they're going to have to encounter. The days that are the most difficult is when one of my kids breaks down with a fever, which has been very common after having them locked down for 2 years. They're getting everything they should have got so their immune system is building up. So, Mohamed, I am extremely grateful and thankful that you took the time to be here. I can't wait to watch this company blow up. I want to be in on the ground up.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having me on today. And it was really a pleasure. Sincere pleasure.
Habibi, you're the best.
Thank you. Shukran.
Take it easy.
Shukran. Thank you.